Welcome to the Battlefield Show. I am Scott Gibson, your Commander-in-Chief, guiding you through the battlefield of life. You know what you're here for, no more messing about. Stick the tape in, hit the track, onwards! Welcome to episode 6, I believe, of the Battlefield Show. Thank you to everyone who, as always, has listened and got in touch. Some nice responses after last week's episode. It's Monday again, team. This weekend, it goes too quick. I think we can all, even somebody whose majority of their work is Friday and Saturday. And you're going to have to excuse me throughout this episode because I appear to have developed a rather tickly cough in the last 10 minutes. So that's going to irritate us all the way through this episode, no doubt. Yeah, it's someone who works mostly at weekends. It just goes by far too quick. Now, my missus is a civilian, like many of you people listening, many of you wonderful people who keep this country moving. Although it does feel as if no fucker works a job anymore. Even during the week when you try to go and get something done, it just feels as if everywhere is fucking swamped constantly. Like there's no can't work anymore. There's nobody working 9 to 5. Anyway, so yes, weekend has gone too quick. I hope you've had a good week. What have you been doing? What have you been up to since we last spoke, man? What have you been doing? Have you done something with your week? Have you done fuck all? Who cares? But we're back Monday morning yet again. I've had an interesting week. I had a lovely gig last weekend, Sunday. Huge shout out to everybody who came along to the new material night at the Classic Grand. It was brilliant, man. It was absolutely brilliant. It was very good for me. I got to work through some new stuff, obviously, as new material, but actually some newer stuff from when I did a new material night 2 weeks ago in Edinburgh. So it was great to actually get through that. And I think there's going to be some stuff in there that it might make it into the new show if I can find a way to fit it into whatever the theme is going to be. But there will certainly be some stuff in there I think that can maybe be used for club work, you know, or certainly used again at some point. So hugely beneficial. So thank you to everyone who came along. Now, I'm going to be doing obviously new material throughout 2020. It seems odd saying 2020. That feels like a very futuristic year that we are going to be alive in the year 2020. Still without hoverboards. The world is light as. But the dates for new material nights are going to be coming up pretty soon, definitely before the end of this year. I'm going to list all the dates for 2020. So if you'd like to come along to any of the new material nights, you're more than welcome to do so. I'm going to be doing something quite interesting with the podcast as well for new material nights and some other gigs. So look out for that when it drops. As always, scottgibsoncomedy.co.uk. You should all know it by now is the best place to find out about any information of gigs that I'm doing or stuff that's coming up. This cough, man. The only thing, new microphone as well. And I mean, this thing could pick up an internal fart. That's how fucking strong it is. So I'm very conscious of coughing, drinking, or swallowing. Hello, sitting under the vicar anywhere near this bloody microphone. We may have to drop the levels on this ever so slightly. Look at me getting all technical with the levels. So yes, it's been a good week. I've watched some interesting things. I even went fucking axe throwing. Yeah? Professional axe thrower now. I can stick that in the CV. I've completed a 1 hour course in a room that felt like some farm that's gone out of business with foot and mouth, and the families got together and went, what are we going to do now? The cows are dead. And they've went, hey, fucking stick some hay down, get the axes in, hipsters will pay 40 quid to throw axes. Wednesday night in the Gibson household's date night. Me and the missus will do something Wednesday night. Dinner and a movie, classic, or whatever it is. And this week, after a quick Google search, I found that there's fucking axe throwing in Edinburgh up at Summer Hall, which is an amazing venue. Very popular destination during the Fringe Festival, but it has enormous amount of events all year round. And if you are in Edinburgh or close to Edinburgh, or find yourself in Edinburgh for the day or the night, check out Summer Hall, man, because more than likely there will be something on in the venue that will interest you. And you go along now. I don't know how long the axe throwing is there for. I did see on the website that I think they're in Edinburgh and Belfast, so this could be the new IRA training camp. I don't quite know, but Belfast and Edinburgh seems to be the two places for them. And it was great, man. It was great. The thing I liked about it is I thought it was going to be like, you know, you see in America where you go and it's like a bowling alley for axe throwing. You know what I mean? There's like fucking 20 lanes and utters. And they're all behaving and fucking, hey, just throwing axes, right? I mean, we've all seen the video, like people throwing them and they bounce back and it hits up, that kind of thing, right? That's what I thought it was going to be. But it was more, it wasn't as fun as that. It was more controlled environment. So we went in, there was us and another couple who were a bit douchey. She was alright, she seemed like a laugh. He seemed like a bit, if he worked in finance or something, he seemed a bit like a douchebag, but the wee dude take it was cool. And showing you different throwing techniques. Because, believe me, you think, here's the thing, right? As a red-blooded male, I thought that you would just pick up the axe and you'd launch your fucker. You know, and it would be easy enough to hit the target, right? There was also a part of me that thought, hey, it can't be that easy. There's obviously hidden techniques, skills involved in throwing an axe. Let me tell you right now, there isn't. There's none. It literally is just picking an axe up and fucking launching it, right? Now, I would say 9 times out of 10 when the guy who was meant to be the tutor was demonstrating the different techniques, the fucker never got one to land ever. I think he managed to get one axe in the fucking target the whole hour we were there. And he's maybe teaching us. You know, he's saying, maybe try and stand back a bit, Scott, give yourself more distance. I'm fucking getting them in it. I'm killing zombies here. You know? First one's your classic, axe up, fucking shaklaki, right, away it goes, and then you do a wee double-hander over the head routine, a wee turn the axe so it faces you, and fucking wee spinning number. It was exciting. It was exciting. I'm going to be honest with you, when you launch an axe, like full pelt, right? Because a couple of times you're going like 50%. But see the one when you get a bit confident and you go fucking ba-boom, right? The noise it makes when it fucks into a bit of wood. And then the terrifying bit is when you go up to the target to remove your axes from it and you realise how fucking deep this thing is bedded in. You're going, if that was some cunt's chest, you'd be dead. It made me rethink Braveheart when I was watching it. It made me rethink kind of every, you know, medieval gladiator Viking thing that I've seen where some cunt launches an axe into somebody and you're like, I think I could survive it. No, you couldn't. If some cunt threw a two-handed over the heat number right into your chest, you'd be a goner, man. And the worrying thing was, one-handed, my missus, right, pretty rubbish, right? A lot of them bouncing off, high, low. See when she went two-handed, like proper barbarian style, fucking over the top of the head, absolute 100% kill rate. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. Slightly erotic, but terrifying. I'm like, if I ever came home and she had an axe in her hand, as long as one hand, I'm fine, but if she reaches over the setting for the old fucking backhand grip, oh, start running. But it was good, man. Wee hour in a barn, launching axes. The only thing was, now you had a taste for it, do you know what I mean? As soon as I left, I was like, I feel as if I should be walking with 2 axes here, man. Just doing a couple of daisy cutters, taking somebody's ankles out. You'd get a name quite quick for yourself, if being a mad cunt, if you just walked about a housing scheme with 2 axes. Just chapping doors. Any hassle tonight, hen? Anybody up the close fucking setting bangers off? Or you 2 axes in the back of the neck. Interesting, but maybe not what some people might think of as a date night, but hey, in the Gibson household, throwing axes, it's a date night, man. Interesting. Would I go back? I would go back if it was more of a free-for-all, like if I was given an hour, just myself, with a target to go fucking bananas at it and start launching axes. I don't know if I'd go back with the whole kind of, here's other people, let's talk you through the different techniques. If I could pay money and I was just in a room with maybe me and a mate and, 100 axes, just fucking go mad, I would do that. But archery's the next one, man. I really want to fucking do archery. I don't know if I think it's going to be like, what's that program I've never watched? It's no Highlander. What the fuck is it? When the lassie goes back in time, everybody's going mad for it, some Scottish thing. What is it? Can't remember. But I don't know if in my mind I'm training for that I'm going to somehow travel back in time and wake up and need the skills of axe throwing and archery. But I think archery needs to be the next one that we get involved in. As I'm recording this as well, the cat has decided to go behind the camera as if he's directing this, which is a very odd situation to be in. So yes, that was a bit of axe throwing this week. One thing I wanted to talk to you about that is kind of came up. Well, I fell down a YouTube rabbit hole the other day, which I'm sure all of us have done at some point in life, where you're watching a video and then before you know it, you're 3 years in and you're watching stuff about conspiracies or the fucking 10 golden buzzer moments for Britain's Got Talent, right? And either you're in floods of tears, you're an emotional wreck, or you're sitting going, the Chinese are listening through my Amazon, right? Whatever it is. Somehow I stumbled across a clip, which is quite easy to do because I don't know how these algorithm things work, but I imagine it's the same shite you kind of get fed all the time. It was some clips of This Morning, right? And Gino Di'Campo was on one of them. And I think what happened was I was sending an email or I was doing a bit of work and it just kind of automatically played the next clip. And it wasn't until I heard the voice I thought, it's fucking Mad Gino. It's Mad Gino. But one thing that he was talking about, and this is sometimes the thing that happens with people who are a bit mad or a bit eccentric, they say stuff and it's very easy to dismiss them. But then when you actually start to think about what it is they're saying, they go, yes, you might be onto something here. The concept of basically what he was talking about was that he does not accept that we only have one life. Now, that doesn't mean that you are born again or you're reincarnated, nothing like that. What he means by it is that if you live to say about 80 years of age, right? Let's just say 80 for a number. He doesn't accept that within that time you only live one life. So the concept of it is that you will live 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as many lives as you want to live. And within that idea, it basically talks about changes that you make to your life that will alter or determine where that stage in your life goes. So the idea, to give you an example, would be that you could say I am on the second life of my journey, if you like. In my first life, I was a civilian like you. I worked in a call centre. I had an office job. And then I made changes and then I became a comedian. And that was the second life that I'm living. And there will be changes within that again. Now, I very recently have started to focus more on, I've got a real passion for food and for cooking, and I've started to think more about that and more about long-term stuff. As to, I will always do comedy. I don't think that will ever. Well, I know that will never stop. I'll always tour and I'll always write shows. I know that for a fact until the day I die. But there may be another life I've yet to live. I don't really know how to explain it, but I can certainly understand the kind of ideas that he's trying to put across. And I don't know if any of you have either currently living something similar or have made drastic changes in your life that you could identify as being in, a second stage or a third stage, whatever that may be within your life. But it was just something that I thought was quite interesting. If you start to look at it that way, there's no reason why any of us couldn't make changes at any point in our life to move down a different path or do something completely new. I think gone are the days when, probably my grandfather's generation. I don't even think my father's. I would say my grandfather's generation is probably the last one that you would get a job and stay in that job for 50 years. Do you know what I mean? I think gone are the days of that. I don't think that people have jobs now or careers. They may stay within the same industry for their working life, but I think it's very few and far between that you'll find anyone who sticks either with the same job or sticks within even the same industry. And I don't know if that is because we have access now to so many different things or so many different channels of education. There are so many jobs now that exist that one didn't exist before, or two that you didn't even know existed. Things that you can make a living from. But it was just something that was quite interesting to me, and it got me thinking a bit as to somehow a lot of the time I focus on what's coming up next with regards to like comedy, what I'm going to be doing next, what's the next show, what we're pushing next. And the real question could be what do I want to do next, or is there something else I want to do? Because there's no reason why you couldn't change again and change completely from what you're currently doing. Now, obviously, at the time when Gino's talking about it, it's a bit mental because he's giving it, I want to fucking move to, Sicily and breed horses, and you're like, fucking hell, Gino, you were on a path there, mate, to something quite interesting, I refuse to believe that, this is not his accent, but this is the accent he's getting. I refuse to believe that people only live in one life, I'm going to go to the breed horses. Oh, fucking cunts have he's not. He's got too much money. But what would you do? I mean, if you could do anything, what would you do? I mean, I wouldn't be breeding horses, but I know a lot of people would probably just like to sit in their arse or be a kept man or woman. But if you really realistically know with the opportunities that are out there, and you may think they're few and far between, but if you could do anything in your life and you are clear on what that is, there's nothing really stopping you from doing it other than yourself. And in an odd way, you're almost your most destructive and strongest barrier, even for success or progress, because it is incredibly difficult to remain positive and remain focused. And if you allow even the slightest bit of negative thought in, it can completely shut you down. I mean, I look back, and I can only talk from experience, and I look back to when I first started stand-up, and I wanted to do it for 4 or 5 years before it. And I kept putting myself down, because I said to myself that if I do it, I will be shit, or it won't be what I think it is in my head. And those thoughts continued for 5 years. Until eventually I started, and now I'm 9 years in, and it's my full-time job, so how many of us have stopped ourselves from moving into that second stage or that third stage in our life because we have continued to doubt ourselves or doubt our ability to do it? I don't know. Maybe Gino's off, he's not, maybe he's no, but I thought it was quite interesting. it's amazing how powerful your mind can be. You know, are you wanting in this, Eric? Aye, come on, get. This is a problem with trying to record a podcast when there's a cat just walking freely amongst you. I think so. The thing I'm trying to kind of do is be a bit more positive in my mindset. I spoke about a little bit in the show about removing things negative from your life, and a lot of that is based around social media, because that sadly is a lot of the place where people still have their interactions, or they get their news from, or they keep up to date with people. But it can have a huge, can have a huge negative impact on your mental health, and I found myself this week anyway certainly becoming kind of more drawn into the endless scrolling for no reason. There is no one who have much particular interest in it. The people who are friends, I stay in touch with. So social media for me, sadly, is just more of a tool for work and to promote myself. And as someone who is terrible at self-promotion, it becomes a battle, because I feel as if I'm constantly trying to sell things on it, or try to punch stuff, whether it be gigs or whether it be projects that I'm doing. And it's tiring, because you feel as if that's the channels you have to go down to let people know what's going on. Even with this podcast, I have to tweet about it, and Facebook and Instagram updates and everything else, when I just want to focus on the creative side of things, And I understand that's part of the job, but I enjoy recording these, I enjoy writing material, I enjoy doing shows, but I certainly don't enjoy having to promote it. And maybe that's why I've never been very good at it, I don't know. But like I said, I'm trying to be more positive about stuff. I saw a post. I saw a post that was talking about the balance of your health, how your physical health and mental health goes into it. And I actually watched the documentary Game Changer, right, that's on Netflix. And it was interesting. I don't know if any have seen it. It's basically a UFC fighter, an English guy who lives in the States, and he becomes injured, and he starts to look into more on the recovery side, and how he could either change his diet or change his routine or change the process in which he sculpts himself for fighting so that he can recover quicker. Now, one thing that is technology has grown, and certainly something that I had very small dealings with when I was younger, when I used to play rugby. I played it quite decently. I played district for Scotland, and I had a Scotland trial when I was younger. And one thing that was coming about then was the kind of these basic fridges, these freezers, when they would look at putting you in cold conditions after a training session in order to help muscle recovery. That was the thought behind it, right? It's the same way, like a lot of high impact sports. So you get like rugby and a lot of American footballs. They go inside these kind of air compression tank things. It looks like a big inflatable bed, right? And they lie inside it, and you can either put different oxygens in it, or you bring the temperature right down. And a lot of that is to help with muscle recovery and basically to help you recover quicker. But the documentary itself focuses on plant-based diet, right? Veganism. Now, I am all on board with people who want to be vegans. That's fine. I think the choices you make as to what goes into your body is completely fine. I start to get not annoyed, but I start to kind of lose any sympathy is the wrong word again, but I lose support for it when people start doing things like storming abattoirs and throwing blood over people and just the mad shit, right? Going, fucking animals are dying. Listen, animals are, this stuff happens, right? A lot of this is culture. You're not going to go to a place like Argentina, right, that's built on gauchos and beef cattle and tell these people they can't eat meat, right? It's not going to happen. You're not going to go to African villages where they trade in livestock, or they will sacrifice animals for feasts, for religious, and you're not going to stop them doing that, right? So, but if we look at strictly the medical side of it, it was an interesting documentary. It did make me think about a few things. I don't know if I've just become very sceptical in the last few years, and I believe, as I think most of you do, or should, the world is powered by money, and that's what makes the world go round. Nothing else. There is no... If people can find a way to monetize the climate change activists, then that will become the next thing. Money makes the world go round. I think a lot of the problem is that they have maybe misbranded some of these things. For example, climate change, when we talked about it as global warming, I can remember being told, we're going to get up to like 40 odd degrees. Now, if they had told us back then that actually what's going to happen with global warming is that people are going to be getting flooded and you'll be getting absolute horrific, even worse rain than you already get in Scotland, we probably would have been recycling 20 years ago. And I think that pushing this plant-based diet, now even me just now, who my girlfriend's obviously vegetarian, and I have started to eat far less meat than I used to. But even now, whenever I hear things like a plant-based diet, it still doesn't sit right with me, because in my head that is eating a salad, breakfast, lunch and dinner, shoving leaves down your head, and that is not the case at all. Maybe if these things are rebranded as a meat-free diet, then it might become more, palatable for people, or people certainly can understand it. But one of the things that was interesting is that they took athletes. Now these are focused on athletes again, and I've heard some people shouting and bawling about the documentary, but none of us are going to be athletes, right? I'm not going to start tomorrow. I know we've talked about being in the third stage of your life or whatever. I'm not going to become an Olympian, right? So I'm not training at that level. But they certainly took these athletes and they gave them burritos for some reason. They were all getting burritos. And one would have a protein like chicken. And another one would have a protein supplement. So like seitan or corn or something like that. And then the last one was just all plant-based, so it would be like they would have, I think one was like black beans or something like that as a kind of bulker. And they would eat them, they would take blood from them, and then they would review it the next day. And basically what it is it's talking about how your body will process animal proteins against proteins that are plant-based. And if you look at it in the sense of your blood cells and how quickly they recover and how important blood cells are to the body and moving about, they basically take these samples and your blood will settle at the bottom and then everything else separates it. And depending on how clear or cloudy that liquid is, depends basically on how healthy your blood is. And this is all based on them having, food 24 hours. And I mean, you could clearly see the difference in these guys' bloods, in the results that came back. But again, my whole thing was, none of us are trained to become athletes. Now, if you are looking to be a bit healthier or, live a better diet, there's no way you could argue that you probably have to eat less meat than you're already eating just now. And there's no way I could argue that. I mean, I would have meat breakfast, lunch and dinner sometimes. I would say 5 days a week. Where you're having at least 2 meals a day would be heavy animal protein. And if that is having an effect on how your body breaks that down, it surely is. And again, now I'm never going to become full vegan, right? I can't give up cheese. I mean, there's no way it can happen. Cheese is sent from God above, Couldn't give up cheese, man, right? So that's not happening. But I already have moved away from having meat as part of my meal 7 days a week, and as maybe now I'll do 2 or 3. And I think if we all did that, it would certainly ease up some of the issues that we're having with regards to global warming. It can certainly not have anything but a positive effect on that. And if anything, it's going to have a better effect on your diet. One thing about cooking vegetarian or looking at meat-free options is it certainly gets you more creative with cooking and what you're having, because there's something very easy about having meat, potatoes and veg, you know, and that will be, and you may try and spice up your meals, you know, or try and think about you're doing something different, but a lot of it will just come down to a big bit of protein, potatoes and veg, and that's your dinner. There's nothing wrong with that. Hey, steak, chips and mushrooms, happy days. But if you're looking at meat-free options and you're looking at ways to maybe make your diet more exciting, vegetarian is probably the way to do it. One thing that stands out in the documentary, The Game Changers, though, is, again, it's money. They had Arnold Schwarzenegger who was on, right? And interestingly, it was looking at how they were told back in the day that eating meat is, you know, the manly thing to do. And a lot of marketing campaigns back then were like, hey, have a dad side burger or a dad side steak, that kind of thing, right? Real men eat beef, all that stuff. And that's generated through marketing, right? That's generated through companies because they want to sell a product, they want you to buy a product, and they want to make money. But so do these companies who make meat-free alternatives, you know. So do these companies who offer vegetarian options, who offer vegan options. Now, if the science, and I understand it, you could fucking buy a scientist nowadays. Anybody could, you know. I could go to any one of these think tanks and say, listen, there's $100,000, right? I want you to say that eating fucking your toenails is good for you, it puts calcium back in your body, and we should all eat our toenails, right? You'd get it read out in Parliament, and you'd fucking have people with a campaign going, hey, we're real vegans, man. We're eating our toenails, right? We're eating fucking byproduct here. You could do that, right? You could find some fucker with a degree or letters after his name who's willing to say, if you eat your toenails, you'll grow and live to be 100-year-old, right? You do that. So if 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the science was telling you to eat meat, and now the science is telling you that you shouldn't eat meat, I imagine there's probably truth somewhere in the middle. And that truth probably is, you shouldn't be eating meat 7 days a week. Maybe a couple of days, ease off a bit. And that's it. I think that's what we're getting for it. Now, if you're training to be a UFC fighter or you're training to be a fucking Olympian, maybe you employ somebody to come in, right? And maybe they do a wee diet plan for you. And they say, hey, you're going to have 4 cucumbers and a celery stick 5 times a week. You're like, oh, fucking, I'm going to kick who's going in. But for a normal punter like us, ease up the meat. Ease up the meat. Have a bit of wee side salad. Enjoy lentils, man. Hey, fucking game changer. Wee bit of old pure lentils. Lovely jubbly. Give Game Changer a watch, man. It's decent. And the other thing is, it was when I watched it, the next, you know, when it offers you suggestions of things to watch, it was supersized me. I was like, fucking hell, man, whoever is doing these algorithms is absolutely amazing. Here's a documentary about changing your life and becoming fucking meat free, and then here's one that's going to want you to eat McDonald's. Absolutely fucking amazing. Right, let's do some interesting facts, shall we? Let's do some facts about Scotland. Now, today, I've actually found some stuff that we're going to focus on. Scots law. Fucking yes. Scottish law. Now, the first one, it's an interesting one, certainly for the political situation that we're in currently. Brexit's been pushed back. I don't know what your opinion on Brexit is. I don't know if you voted to remain or leave. I couldn't give a fuck. At this point, I'm past caring. I'm past fucking caring. I was politically involved up to Scottish independence, and then when we lost that, I went, you know what, fuck the world. There's no hope. And then when Brexit happened, and I voted to remain, and England made us leave, I was like, fucking, I should have learned the last time to get involved. And now, here we are. We got another fucking general election, right? So, interesting fact for you. Wearing a full suit of armour in the Houses of Parliament is illegal. I'll say that again. wearing a full suit. Now, I don't know where they stand on just the helmet. It doesn't say that here. But wearing a full suit of armour in the House of Parliament is illegal. This was brought in during the reign of Edward II. Nutter. Edward II obviously had a bit of bother with the fucking bailiffs turning up, trying to take away his footstool or the fancy curtains, and he's like, right, every cunt, suit of armour off, easy to make it get in, do the stabby. England, Edward II of England, but the crime has rarely, if ever, been committed in modern times. So no one has committed the crime yet of wearing a full suit of armour in the House of Parliament. I suggest that may change. I don't know, one day if fucking the bold Rees-Mogg rocks up in a full suit of armour to do PMQs. I don't know. I imagine Boris, for a giggle, would kick a boot in a full suit of armour. If I was the Prime Minister, I'd kick a boot in a full suit of armour. You know? Number 10, end of the days, you've got access to everything. You probably get into the Tower of London. You could have a full suit of armour and a crown on. You know? Nobody would know. Nobody would be any the wiser. Kick a boot, stick it back in the morning. Just run round number 10 a full suit of armour. There you go. You want to get yourself on boiler, wear a full suit of armour in the House of Parliament. Illegal. Another law in Scotland, being drunk and in charge of a cow. Illegal! Now, this is a cattle cow. It's not your partner. Although you shouldn't be drunk and in charge. No one's in charge of them. You know, they're their own person. But this is strictly cattle. According to the Licensing Act 1872, it is illegal to be both drunk and in charge of a cow. Now, you can be either or. It's not illegal to be drunk in Scotland. If that was illegal, jails would be over. The streets would be dead. Same way in charge of cattle. It's not illegal. Although some farmers probably should be questioned. A lot of them are inbred. Very simple people, farmers. But according to the Licensing Act 1872, it's illegal to be both drunk and in charge of a cow. This law also covers horses. So, fucking jockeys need to start doing the breath test on the jockeys. So make sure not to break into any farms after a night in the tiles. Leave the jokes to me. Interesting, right? Okay, and the last one, again, with the political climate we're living in, this could change. Firing a cannon within 300 yards of someone's house, illegal. It's illegal to discharge, easy tiger, any cannon or other firearm or greater calibre than a common following piece within 300 yards of any dwelling house within the said district to the annoyance of any inhabitant. Let me say that again in normal speak. You can't fire your fucking gun within 300 yards of a cunt's house. Now, there must be houses within 300 yards of Edinburgh Castle, is there no? So if you happen to be one of these middle class posh folk and you've got a wee cannon in your back garden, 300 yards, that's what you need from your dwelling before you fire one off. Now, I don't know what would happen to you. Let's just say after the 12th of December, if we wake up in Boris's Britain, and he's in full charge, I imagine that if you were to put to the Tory party that, hey, as a strong backer of their campaign, maybe you've got a bit of Russian oil money in there, you might say, Boris, need you to change a few laws, mate. If I wish to wear my suit of armour and drunkenly take my Highland cow for a walk whilst firing the cannon 200 yards from my neighbour's house, as I should be allowed to do that. I don't know what changed. I don't know if that is part. I haven't watched the telly this week, but the news anyway. I don't know if that is what the Tories are campaigning on. Maybe the Lib Dems. Hey, if you want to have a drink, take your cow for a walk, you should be able to do that in a modern society. I don't know. But there's where you go, man. So you can't wear a suit of armour in the House of Parliament, a full suit of armour, right? Shin guards and a helmet, we think we're all right with that. But if you stick a base plate and a pair of metal Y fronts on, you're in bother, right? Full suit of armour, illegal. Second, you can't be drunk and charge a cow. Just can't happen, right? I know there's a lot of situations where that could become a fact. You need to watch yourself, right? And obviously with the unit levels now, I would say even half a pint, there's no point in risking it, right? There's no point. If you know you're going to go and you're going to have half a pint, just leave the cow at home, right? Leave the cow at home. And thirdly, if you fire in that cannon, that wee cannon of yours, do not fire your cannon less than 300 yards for your neighbour's house. Because there's a high chance you're getting to jail, man. There's a high chance you're getting to jail. Hey, there's some interesting facts. I mean, that was interesting. Even I was on board for that, and I was reading them out. You know, now I don't know what these are before, so hey, I'm as shocked as you and someone. There's your interesting facts for this episode.
Doesn't it make you proud to be Scottish?
Let's just do a couple of things very quickly and just get out of the way before we move on to some questions. Gigs coming up December the 1st in Glasgow. It is the last outing of my tour show White Noise this year before we move into 2020 dates. You can get tickets from my website, scottgibsoncomedy.co.uk, or from the Glee Glasgow's website. Best thing to do is go onto my website, sign up to the mailing list if you haven't already done so. Follow the links to social medias. Facebook, I am Scott Gibson Comedy, and Twitter and Instagram is at Big Scott Gibson. So follow me on there, and I'm sure you are already doing so if you're listening to the show. But subscribe to the podcast. Every single Monday, a brand new episode will drop. It will help get our numbers up. If you can leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast, drop it a wee review. If you've enjoyed it, share it with friends. Share it with whoever you want, man. Fucking share it with cunts you don't like. I don't give a fuck. Aye, share it, subscribe. Get on SoundCloud, subscribe there, and subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Like I say, there's going to be some interesting stuff coming up soon, so I want you to be there to get that. So get on the website and do it. Right, let's do some questions, man. Where are the fucking questions? There are there. As always, you want to get in touch with the show, go on the social media, drop it. I will post out. I normally record these things. Actually, the last couple of times I record them on a Sunday, so you've got all fucking week to get in touch, man. But again, while we're talking about it, thanks to everybody who got in touch for the last episode, and thanks to a few people who have sent me some nice messages privately for some stuff that we talked about. So thank you for doing that. Right, David Exley got in touch on Facebook. David asked, how is the Couch to 5k going? No, very well, mate. No, very well. Let's just say we got from the couch to the start of the 5k, right? Let's just say that. And then we have very quickly rescinded back to the couch, and we've now built a protective fort stopping us from leaving said couch. That's where we are with the Couch to 5k. It was good, and I will go back to it. I need to get back into the gym. Any weight that I feel as though I've lost, I think I've put back on again. But that's the problem with being happy, you know? That's the problem with being happy. That's the problem with having an amazing girlfriend, a nice flat, and a great wee dog, right? And enjoying gigs again. That's the problem with being happy, is that you get fat, right? That's why when you see people out running, you know, during the day, you're like, they're a very unhappy person. They're not happy, you know? And when you see big fat people, you're like, look at the fucking happiness spilling through the pores. So, David, 5k's not going that well. It was good when I did it. We did it for a couple of weeks, and I'll be honest, I did notice it was getting easier. So that was a big thing. But I give up on stuff too easily, man. You know, I've not got I'm not good at sticking things, man, you know. So I'll start to see a bit of improvement, and I'll go, fucking hell, I'm healthy, and then I stop. Right? It's like festival every year, Fringe. I walk everywhere. I got up and down the stairs, and then 2 weeks into the Fringe, I'm like, fucking hell, man, I've lost about a stone and a half, and I'm feeling good. And then the last 2 weeks, I get taxis everywhere because I think in my head, hey, you've earned this. So did it for a couple of weeks. Very first time I did it, like I said, I felt slightly embarrassed because you're running for 60 seconds and I'm blowing out my arse and I'm going, this is a fucking joke that I can't run for 60 seconds. Then I'm remembering that I'm fucking shifting the best part of 22 stone here. Do you know what I mean? It's heavy going. And then you move up in your wee stages. Anyone who's done it, I naively thought you just fucking start running 5k, right? So I was shitting myself. But you move up in stages, and each time you move up, you do find that the stage you were at before suddenly becomes quite easy, if that makes sense. So you run for a minute, and then the next stage you run for 90 seconds, and then the next stage you run for 2 minutes. And each time you move up, the one you did before becomes the easy point, if that makes sense. So you'll run for a minute quite easily, and when you move up, you run for a minute and a half quite easily, and the last 30 seconds becomes the push. And each time, although you're not conscious that it's getting better, and you might not think you're doing much, but each time it gets a little bit easier. But yes, David, I've pied it, mate, but I will go back to it. I think what I probably need to do is just sign up to one of these things, you know, sign up to a 5k at some point in the year next year, so that I know I've got to keep doing it, because I don't want to fucking blow out my arse at the other end. But I will get back on it again, and hey, if there's any personal trainers out there that I can give some advice, I also need to get back on the weights, man. There's a lot we need to do, David. There's a lot we need to do. But right now, the Couch to 5k is match abandoned, mate. You know, Pools panel, I've awarded an away win. But we'll get back on track. Thanks for that, mate. Stephen Barton. Stephen got in touch on Facebook. Stephen has asked, what's the best and worst things about being a comic? Weirdly, Stephen, you know, one of the good things used to be was we were off when everybody was at work. I was alluding to this earlier on. That was one of the great things during the week. You would have so much time to yourself. You go and do things. And now it feels as if every fucker's nobody works anymore. You know, the old 9-to-5 structure doesn't exist. Best thing about being a comic for me is just getting to do what I love to do. I enjoy performing. I enjoy doing the gigs. More so now my own gigs rather than the club stuff. I enjoy doing tour shows. I like the idea, Stephen, that I can sit down with a blank sheet of paper and I can write down some ideas. I can work on those ideas to make it funny, and I can structure them into an hour, and then I can go out, and if I'm lucky, continue to be lucky, I get to speak to people and tell them my stories, and that is what, you know, keeps me going. That's what earns my crust. I'm not really responsible to anyone. I don't have a boss, and obviously there's a bit of a lack in structure sometimes, and you need to be a bit more, you know, push yourself to kind of fill your days, because it's an odd thing being in a creative industry or having earning your money through something you create is probably the easy way to say it. Because there's a lot of times when you feel as if you're doing nothing, and you feel as if you're worthless in a sense. You will see people, like my missus comes home from work every day, you know, and she's tired, she's worked a full shift. And she's a graphic designer, and an incredibly talented graphic designer. But she's still in an environment where, you know, it's an office, and they're working towards different projects, different goals. And really, if I don't structure my day, then a lot of the time I can find myself I sit and do absolutely bugger all. But subconsciously, you try and think that, you know, you've maybe thought about something, or you've put something together. And a lot of it is the downtime is you have to go and experience things, you know, to try and get ideas, to try and think about stuff. So the worst thing about it is as I'm getting older, the travel can be a bit of a pain. I don't really want to be away from home. I don't want to be away from my missus for that long. Next month, for example, December, I'm away for a hell of a lot. It's a real mix, mate. You know, some people will take a lot of good things on, a lot of negative. It's just like, it's oddly, it's like any other job. There are good points and there are bad points, and I suppose it's really up to yourself as to how you kind of structure it to how much you manage it. But I love it. It's the best job in the world. I couldn't imagine doing anything else with my life, or really right now in this life that I'm living. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. So I know that probably doesn't really answer your question, but best thing, I don't know. But gigs, mate. Gigs are probably the best thing. Getting to talk to people, doing shows, the laughter. I don't know, man. It's good. But thanks for your question, mate. Thank you very much for your question. Right, let's quickly do. What have we got here? We've got some more. Lee Carroll, best and worst ever gig. Also, who would be in your dream comedy show and why? Best gig? I don't know. I've done some nice gigs. Best gig? I don't know. I mean, I've had some bad gigs where I fucking died my arse brutally. One gig that I thought was going to be horrendous and then actually turned out to be alright. I got asked to host this charity event once, and I think I want to say Irvine. It was doing Ayrshire way, right? And I got booked through my manager, and they asked me if I would do a charity thing, and I went no, because it was a weekend. I remember it being like a Friday or a Saturday night, and I went no, because mostly charity stuff is free, right? You don't get paid to do it. And I went, I'm not giving up, a working night to do something for free. And then they offered me a fee to do it, and I thought, well, if there's a fee, and I'm doing something, I'll take it. So long story short, take the gig, turn up. Now, I was told I was effectively emceeing this night. And when I got there, it became very apparent from who greeted me that it was a foundation, as they had said, but it was a foundation for a woman who very sadly had passed of cancer. And the way it was told to me was that this was one of the first events that the foundation was doing, and that was the case, but I never realised that the guy who was running it was the husband of the woman who passed, and she just passed that week. Right? She had been helping get the foundation up and running. And very sadly, she passed the week of the event or the week before it, and they decided to go ahead with it anyway. So it's a lot of friends and family, and there's 400 people. And as you can imagine, it was quite emotionally charged, shall we say. So I was doing about an hour and a half at the start, where a little bit of stand-up, introducing a few things, couple of speakers, couple of performers. And then we're bringing a band on at the end, then I was done. And I was to go out and get started, and the husband of the woman who passed, who's obviously the chair of the foundation, had decided he wanted to say a few things. So I came out, did about 5 minutes, explained why we were here, got everybody going, and actually got a couple of laughs, so I was pleased with that. And then introduced the husband of the guy. And he went out, and as you can imagine, it was it was like something that fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm, man. He went into this lovely speech about the foundation and his wife, and then just broke down into tears. And his two daughters came to join him on stage, and they were all greeting. And I don't think there was a dry eye in the fucking house, and mate, my arsehole was fucking sweating bullets, man, right? I've got to go back on, and I've got to do 15 minutes at least of quote-unquote stand-up comedy before bringing on a band. And I remember walking out and going, right, there's one or two ways here, man. Sometimes you just got to roll the dice. And I took the mic, and I remember saying, I think his name was John or something like that. I remember saying, fucking hell, John, I told you to keep it light. Now, that is one of those moments where, and it's happened a few times, when you say something on stage and you think, if this doesn't go well, I am dead beyond a level of death I will have ever experienced on stage. And thankfully, enough people knew that. I think I'd got enough goodwill from the start that enough people knew it was a joke, that we laughed, and he laughed, so that made it a little bit easier. But mate, there was a brief second when I said, I told you to fucking keep it light, and there was a pause, and I thought, I'm just going to have to walk. I'm just going to have to drop this mic and walk out of here. I mean, obviously I've been paid up front. Gary Little taught me that. But I thought, I'm just going to have to walk out of here in fucking silence. But thankfully I laughed, man. I got a bit of laugh on the floor and we moved on. But for that next 15 minutes, I was shitting myself. Just in case the whole room just fucking turned on you. This is the thing, like, when people start, I've spoken about this a few times in green rooms, man. And when people start out, a lot of the young guys will say, like, you know, what's your best ever gig? And how many people have you ever gigged in front of, right? And they're nice. I've done gigs like 3,000 people and did an amazing gig, 2,500 people when I was doing support for somebody, right? And they were amazing, don't get me wrong, right? But for me, it wasn't a particularly enjoyable gig because there's no interaction with the audience. You're just in this vast space. It's not the same as doing, like, you know, a King's Theatre or a Theatre Royal where you're up close and personal, you can see people. They're amazing gigs as well. But oddly, the stuff that you remember the most is the gigs that you don't have to do. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, but like, a promoter will phone you and say, like, listen, the gig's been cancelled, but I'm going to pay you. You're thinking, fuck, I don't even need to leave the house. Or I've had one before where I've turned up to a gig and a famous comic has appeared and went, listen, can I jump on, but you take the fee? And you're like, fucking amazing. Just sit in your ass. You know, oddly, those are the gigs that I remember. But I've had some lovely gigs over the years where I've got to gig with some amazing people and travelled to some amazing places. And there's been some brutal gigs, man, where we fucking died in your hole. And it's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. But it's good in a way if you're on with mates. If you're on with people you know and you die in your arse and your mates are there, you can take a ripping, you know. That's part of it. You got to take fucking the banter. I've had once before, we did a gig in Peterhead and somebody had broken into the pub and stole copper pipe. They stole copper pipe at the pub. So the guy didn't know if the gig was going to go ahead, and then when we turned up, we were basically standing in front of two puggies just to do a gig. And this woman in a mobility scooter just kept driving in front of us, man. Oh, it was fucking some of the mad shit that you do when you see stuff on television and you think all these like amazing gigs that people do and they travel the world and it's fucking 2,000-seater theatres and whatnot, and you go, it's the ones that you're in the back of a pub that you fucking remember where it's just carnage and the arsehole of nowhere, or the places you find, fuck me, I'm remembering, I get booked to do a wake once. Didn't even know it was a wake. Went to the pub, somebody had set up a PA kit. I remember standing there and I was like, where the fuck is it? But there was nobody in this pub, in this function room in a pub. And then eventually a couple of people started out and the guy was saying to me, going to leave it half an hour, mate, they're a wee bit late coming down. And I was like, coming down for where? He says, the fucking chapel. And then 50 cunts, black and white, suited and booted, turned up, somebody decided to book it, and I was like, I'm not doing this, man. There's absolutely no way I'm doing this. I think I did about 10 minutes, then I just chucked it. I was like, this is fucking nonsense, man. I mean, nobody would even turn around to look at me. One point I thought a fight was going to break out. Some of the stuff you do, man, absolute carnage. I don't know if I've had what I imagine there's still a terrible gig to come, but no yet, nothing pure major yet. But I bet best gigs have been things like, you know, big venues. Or first time I played the King's Theatre, always remember that. And then the first time I played the Clyde Auditorium in Armadillo, that was amazing. Line-up wise, I spoke about it in the last one. Tommy Tiernan is my hero. I would have him on. I would have Carl Donnelly, who I think is an absolutely incredible comic, and if you haven't seen Carl, you need to check him out. And oddly, I don't know, man. If I could go back, I'd probably get something like Patrice O'Neill. I mean, if we're talking fucking ultimate lineups, we'd have Connolly and Richard Pryor on there. Fuck me. Can you imagine that for a lineup? Me MCing, Billy Connolly, Richard Pryor, Patrice O'Neill, Tommy Taylor. Fucking hell, what a gig. I could probably charge $17.50 for a ticket of that. Unbelievable. Thanks for your question, though, man. Thanks so much indeed. And if you do have anything you want to ask or even topics to discuss, then like get in touch with me, man. Go to the website or drop us a wee email or get us on social media. Okay, team, as we approach the end of another episode, let's do some news items, and then we will wrap this bad boy up. Let's play the jingle. Today's headlines. Man claims McDonald's tea contains weed. Why did the chicken cross the road? And sex toys stolen. As always, I mean, I know I keep saying it, but where do you get such a diverse coverage of the world's news? Straight in McDonald's, a man claims he was left high as a kite. A medical terminology for being off your tits after drinking an iced tea from McDonald's which contained weed. Now, as always, I know nothing of these stories. I'm reading them to you and we are discovering these gems together. I'm going to say this is a pile of pish. The gentleman's name was Parish Brown. That's right, Parish Brown. Now, I've just seen there he's from America. Of course he's from America. America is just the fuckwits place to hang out. Parish Brown, that's not a real name. And if it is, your parents need their heads rattled. Parish Brown, 24, claimed a staff member at a drive-thru in Hilton Head. Now, Hilton Head sounds like it could be a part of Glasgow. South Carolina. If you've ever been to South Carolina, it is just like Glasgow. Only a bit more sunny. Said extra lemon. Hold on, I'm just going to read this again. Parish Brown, 24, claimed a staff member at a drive-thru in Hilton Head, South Carolina, said extra lemon in a weird way when he purchased the drink. Who's getting? I mean, first of all, iced tea is disgusting, but is extra lemon code for stick a bit of weed in there? He said he ordered a 10-piece box of chicken nuggets, a double cheeseburger, and a sweet tea with light ice and extra lemon. Light ice? What the fuck is light ice? Does that mean a wee bit of ice? Or is this some fucking American? What is this with Americans, man? We're just getting this now, right? You know, where people would just say, "Give me a coffee, mate," and you see things and it feels like, "Give me a soy latte, hold the milk, double the cream with a Colombian grind." You're like, just fucking give me a coffee. Sweet tea with light ice and extra lemon. But he immediately noticed that the drink tasted differently when he took a sip and said he carried on drinking it because he was thirsty. He's fucking thirsty. He's not. He's been stoned out his box. He's went to McDonald's because he's hit the munchies. He's went, give me 10 chicken nuggets and a double cheeseburger. And do you know what? A sweet tea. Hey, light ice, extra lemon. To his shock, when he took the lid off, Parish saw 3 bags of weed inside the cup. He said, "I have never had weed a day in my life, so immediately after I started drinking it, I started to feel weird and it didn't taste like something I recognised. But you drank it anyway, you dick, because you were fucking thirsty. I was high and panicking and at work, so I called my dad. I didn't want to get in trouble for this." Oh, shut your fucking mouth. Is this how we're doing drug deals now? Rock up to McDonald's drive-thru and go, can I get some extra lemon in my iced tea? Do you want light ice? You damn right I want light ice, bitch. 3 bags of weed in your fucking McDonald's cup. And we thought the biggest problem with McDonald's now was paper straws. No. If you know the code, now you get things like secret menu items. You've seen these on TV shows where if you go and you ask for a secret item, some restaurants will have stuff and you need to be in the know. Apparently if you go to McDonald's and ask for an iced tea with light ice and extra lemon, you get 3 fucking whopping bags of weed. Now, how big is the cup? Or how small are the bags of weed? Something doesn't smell right here, parish, and it's no your fucking extra lemon. No arrests have been made at this stage. Surprising, eh? Must be a slow fucking crime day in South Carolina. A representative for McDonald's said the company is fully cooperating with law enforcement to validate this claim. I bet they fucking are. Let's hope that the people are brought to justice swiftly. Tried and tested joke, one that's been around for years, and a question that has troubled many a philosopher. Why did the chicken cross the road? Well, apparently the reason is because a policeman told him to do so. There is a picture in the Metro, again, cutting-edge journalism, of a police officer actually stopping traffic to allow a chicken to cross the road. Let's hope no one was in danger at the time when the police officer took it upon himself to deal with this, what I imagine to be a severely pressing law enforcement issue. The article goes on to say this is a bizarre moment. Police stopped traffic so a chicken could cross the road. Officers from Avon and Somerset. All of these stories are from places where the locals are, let's just say, special. Let's just say that. Officers from Avon and Somerset were returning from a job when they spotted the feathery citizen. He's not a citizen, he's a fucking chicken. On the pavement, waiting to ensure the animal's safety, one of the cops bravely stood in the middle of a residential road. Hardly bravely. There's a car that must be a good 40 feet away from both man and chicken. But hey, it's the police, you know, doing a brave job. The forces shared a photo of the unusual encounter on social media. Why? Why did the police do things like this? Do they try and make themselves seem more human by doing this stuff? When the reality is that the people who are in charge of the social media feeds for police stations, they're no police. You know, they're probably civilians who maybe were bullied at school and a bit cunty. To try and make actual police look normal. On the way back from a pre-planned operation, I assume that was getting a Greggs, our officers assisted this feathery citizen in crossing the road safely. It's not just swans, eh? Fuck me. Someone went on to write under the post on social media, no foul play in the neighbourhood today. My God, the people of Avon and Somerset are absolute jokesmiths, eh? Why did the chicken cross the road? Because the fucking police helped him across. I bet the chicken was shitting himself as well. Mate, I'm just going to the shops to get fucking 10 fags and some roll-ups. Get off my back, officer. And last but by no means least, this may come as a shock if anybody has been waiting for a delivery through their Amazon, but sex toys worth $1 million. My God. Sex toys worth a whopping £1 million stolen as the lorry driver slept in lay-by. A truck driver was left unable to deliver his load, I beg your pardon, after thieves stole £1 million worth of sex toys from the back of his vehicle. The assortment of goods was meant to go to Rocksoft Limited in Northamptonshire, but was stolen from a lay-by while the driver slept. While the thieves are likely to be satisfied with their load, it is likely they could not do hard time as police launched an appeal to track them down. They arrived for their haul and buzzed off at some point between 1am and 6:30am on September the 18th. Well, the fucking Metro has gone to town on that. Oh, it's our old friend Richard Hartley Parkinson. He's back with another wonderful news piece, and he's went to town there. So some poor lorry driver has pulled into the lay-by. He's fucking ripped the heat clean off it. Had one of the best kips of his life, and he's woke up not only lighter in load, but also lighter in the back of his truck. £1 million, but I think that is either a slight exaggeration or an insurance job. My truck's been robbed. And how much were the goods worth? £1 million. Exactly one. Right on to the penny, mate. £1 million. That's like, I remember years ago, man, Leslie, our fridge broke. And something happened, like defrosted, and they're going, right, what was in the fridge at the time? Salmon. Sorry? Salmon. Every shelf. Every shelf in that fucking fridge was full of salmon, mate. Couldn't he? If you opened it up, salmon would fall out and tap you. Salmon, hundreds of salmon. What kind of salmon? Fresh, wild, fucking Scottish salmon, mate. 60 pound a kilo. Hundreds it. This smells Rocksoft Limited. I sense this might be an inside job. I sense for £1 million worth of sex toys. Unless these are like fucking high-end robotic love dolls or something, and you know, I don't know the value of these things, but I imagine £1 million. That's a bit steep. I mean, you'd shit yourself if you were the driver, wouldn't you? I mean, I suppose if you're transporting anything, but £1 million worth of dildos. You wake up, you go to, I mean, that's fucking high. The truck's pulling quite easy. Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. How do you shift them? Surely if you've got a lorry full of enough stock that it comes to £1 million, they're going to have another lorry to offload that into. None of this makes any sense. Do you know what, Richard Hartley Parkinson? See, instead of writing a wee innuendo piece, maybe you should have done some actual journalism here and discovered what's going on. If you've got a truck full of gear and it disappears, cunts only just rocking up in a transit van. You know, there's no just like two fucking boys in a Ford car loading £1 million worth of gear into the back of the motor. They must have had another lorry. Am I being stupid here? Surely that seems to make sense. God knows. But that's your news. That's your news for this week, ladies and gents. Sex toys for £1 million stolen. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because the police helped the bastard across. And a gentleman finds weed inside his McDonald's iced tea. What a bloody news episode this has been. Right, okay, team. Listen, thanks for listening to another episode. This has felt, I'm going to be honest with you, this has felt like a bit of a lackluster one, man. I was vibing this. I was right up for it, so I feel as if I've left you a bit flat, and I apologise for that. But hey, can it all be gold, man? Can it all be gold? Everyone who got in touch, everyone who has bought tickets to upcoming shows, thank you very much indeed for doing that. There is an event on December 8th at the Icebox in Glasgow, and it is an event for men's mental health. Now, I have, I was going to say tweeted, but I've actually put it on Facebook, the link to the event. As far as I know, it is a male-only event, and it's called The Big Talk. If you are in Glasgow on the 8th of December, or if you're near it, drop along. I think it's going to be a wonderful event. I would love to have gone along. I would actually have loved to have been speaking at it, but I'm going to be in Birmingham on that day, so I can't make it along. But if you're going to be in Glasgow, or it's something you're interested in, please do go and check out 8th of December. You can get the Icebox on Facebook and Twitter, and all the information on tickets and whatnot is on those pages, so please go and check that out. Stuff that I've got coming up, like I said, 1st of December, the Glee in Glasgow, the last tour date for this year of White Noise before we release 2020 dates, And on March the 7th of next year, 2020, I will be doing a brand new show at the Classic Grand in Glasgow. Tickets are already on sale. If you go to my website, go to the tour dates, you will see it on there. Tickets are shifting like hotcakes. They've already gone out to the mailing list, so this is now general sale. So there's a handful left. If you haven't got your ticket, grab it now, and I will see you in March for the brand new show. It will be a fucking great night, because I've got some good ideas, and I think it's going to be great. It's going to be fucking great. But sign up to the mailing list, follow me on the social medias, like, subscribe, share, yeah, cunts, do the usual stuff. Thank you very much indeed for listening. If you've enjoyed the show, please share it out there, and I will speak to you again next Monday. Have a good weekend, team. I'll see you in the battlefield. Onwards.